हरे कृष्ण श्री गुरुदेव दंडवत प्रणाम।
Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्ण श्री गुरुदेव।
Hare Krishna.
Yes.
Hmm. When are you going to start?
Starting गुरुदेव।
Okay.
The glories of Govardhan. An exquisite line of mountains called Govardhan stretches down the middle of Vrindavan. Giriraj's thousands of peaks appear like the thousands of hands and feet of the Purusha avatar. Many smaller hills surround these peaks, and many jeweled plateaus and lakes like Radhakund provide additional beauty. In this way, Giriraj appears just like a romantic hero decorated with many jeweled bracelets and earrings. Just as Giriraj contains many minerals, dhatus, of red clay and arsenics, similarly the Sanskrit language features a variety of word roots, dhatus. By the Lord's grace, Dhruva traveled beyond Maharloka. Similarly, by the mercy of the Lord, Govardhan has surpassed the splendor of Vaikuntha and become famous as the best of mountains. Just as Kartikeya, the commander who is difficult to conquer, supports the King of Heaven, Govardhan holds many difficult to enter caves. Many snakes surround the valuable sandalwood trees adorning the Malaya mountain, but there are no snakes guarding the unlimited treasures found on Govardhan Hill. Lord Shiva holds the moon in his topknot, but Giriraj's peaks touch the moon. Shiva is fearsome, but Govardhan is kind and gentle. As Krishna is adorned with forest garlands that reach to his ankles, Govardhan is decorated with long lines of forests. Cascading waterfalls caress all sides of Govardhan. Bhumandala is made pleasant by the Loka Loka mountain range, whereas Govardhana pleases the eyes of all devotees. Govardhan is made glorious by banyan trees that distribute joy to everyone. The interiors of its caves are the embodiments of bliss. It is Govardhan's nature to protect the deer and other forest creatures. Mount Kailash, Mount Meru, or even the best of metaphors cannot compare with the unlimited glories of Govardhan. Kailash is composed of silver, and golden Mount Meru is born of the material nature. They pale in comparison with Govardhan, which is eternally manifested and made of inconceivably precious jewels. Just as dancers enhance the sweetness of theatrical performances, the Sonalu trees increase the sweetness of seeing Govardhan Hill. The streams flowing by the roots of the many sandalwood trees growing there pick up the divine fragrance and pass it on to the valleys and grass growing on Govardhan. When all the different animals such as Rooms, Chamara, Gavayavas, Gadharvas, Shimaras, Rohisas, Sasha, and Sambaras bathe in the parrot-green colored streams flowing under the densely foliated trees, they appear to be made of emeralds. No one can tell whether they are real animals or made out of green jewels. The crystal rocks of Govardhan reflect the blue rays of its sapphires to appear like Balaram dressed in blue cloth. The large emeralds reflecting the golden rocks look like Narayan adorned in his golden dhoti. The yellow sapphire platforms standing on beds of diamonds appear like Shiva and Gauri. The waterfalls pouring over the emerald cliffs look like Lord Ram carrying his curved bow. The ruby platforms standing on silver bases appear like Brahma mounted on his swan. The clear waterfalls rapidly falling from the tall peaks of Govardhan carry the reflections of many multicolored jewels and appear like long rainbows. The light coming from the various stones and jewels in the plateaus reflect in the sky like a rainbow. The effulgence from the peaks of the Vaidurya gems appears like the tail of a comet streaking over Govardhan, or like a flock of flying gray birds. Govardhan offers many thrones made of cooling stones for the sitting pleasure of Krishna. Its flat jewel-studded areas await to serve Krishna's rasa dance. Its wonderful caves look more enchanting than temples made of jewels. For serving Krishna there are many flower canopies that pour down fragrant pollen when shaken by the wind. The dense, cool forest provides soothing relief from the hot sun. Animals such as deer and tigers live there in peace and harmony. The glories of Nandishvara. Not far from Govardhan stands Nandishvara Hill, which is the second body of Lord Shiva. Dava trees and the blissful pastimes of Madhava fill Nandishvara with splendor. Parrots perched in ipsepsula trees vibrate sweet music throughout the day. Beautiful peaks of varying heights decorate its skyline. An abundance of roots, herbs, and delicious fruits await the eager hands of the carefree cowherd boys. Just as Vamana's steps brought the Ganga down on Shiva's head, similarly the water flowing down from its caves nourishes the fennel shrubs growing on the side of Nandishvara Hill. As gentle behavior can break the pride of a coarse man, the thick growth of yellow gentian flowers growing on its slopes overpowers the red-colored rocks of Nandishvara Hill. Lord Shiva always holds Parvati on his lap, and this mountain always holds Shilajit in its crevices. The splendid capital of Nanda Baba rests atop Nandishvara Hill. In this place, the syllable Kala, deceitful, is only found in words such as Mekala, Shrinkala, and Ulu Kala. This syllable, however, is never used alone, because there are no deceitful people in Nanda Maharaj's capital. The word Matsura, my lake, is used to describe one's own lake, but it is not used to describe envy, Matsarya, because this place is devoid of envy. The word Dosakara, having faults, is used to describe the moon and nothing else, because there are no Dosakara faulty people in Nandishvara. The syllable mala, dirt, is used only in such words as parimala, fragrance, and shamala, blackish, but is not used separately to connote mala or filth, because everything there is nirmala, pure and spotless. The word danda rod is used only to connote the handle of a chamara or an umbrella, but it does not connote punishment, danda, because there are no punishable people there. The word banda, knot or bound, is used only to describe the knots of clothing, but it does not mean imprisoned, banda, because no one here deserves to be tied up. The word ponka, mud, is used only to describe cosmetics like kumkuma and chandana, because there is no mud here. The word adi, mental distress, is used only in such words as samadhi and upadi, because there is no such thing as mental distress there. The word pida, anguish or group, is seen only in such words as kusuma pida, flower chaplet, because there is no agony or pain in Nandishvara. The word kutila, crooked, is used only to refer to hair locks or one's glances, because there are no crooked or deceitful people there. The word chanchalata, greedy or unsteady, is used only in relation to necklaces or the edge of clothing which move back and forth in anticipation of meeting Krishna. It is not used in reference to unsteadiness of the mind, because there are no unsteady people there. The word raga is used only to describe the reddish color of the feet and hands, and not to describe material attachments. The word madhya, middle or mediocre, is used only to describe the waist, because everything in the spiritual world is uttama, topmost. The word palita, white, is used only to describe a pala, measurement, and not to describe white hair, because no one grows old there. The word raja is used only in words describing flower pollen or the dust of a cow, and not in words like rajaguna, because there are no passionate people there. The word tama, darkness, is used only to describe darkness and not to refer to tamagun, ignorance, because ignorance cannot be found. The word katina, hard, is used to describe jewels and gold, and not to refer to people, because everyone is very soft and gentle. The words dvandva, pairs, argument, is used to refer to a couple of people, and not to an argument, because there are no arguments. The word manda, gentle, is used only to refer to the wind, and not with such words as manda bhogya, unfortunate, because there are no unfortunate people there. The word shinata, thin or decrease, refers to the waists of young ladies, and it is not used elsewhere, because everything is always increasing in Nandagram. The word chanchalya, fickleness, refers only to the movements of the eyes, because everyone there is very stira, or steady. The words glani, exhaustion, sanga, worry, dainya, low, misery, and vishada, lamentation, are used only to describe the ecstatic states within bhava, and not elsewhere, because there are no material conditions of exhaustion, worry, and so on there. The word chidra, hole or faults, is used to describe the holes in a flute or a pearl, but it is not used to describe people, because there are no faulty people. The word tikshnate, sharp, is used only to describe glances and nothing else. The word katuta, pungent, bitter, is used only in relation to particular spiritual emotional states, and not elsewhere. The word samanya, ordinary similarity, is only used to describe the similarity of objects because there is nothing ordinary about Nandishvara. The word duryama, low quality or impurity, is used only to describe impurity in metals because there are no low-class people there. Although all the people of Nandishvara appear to exhibit temporary qualities such as youth and old age, to facilitate their individual rasas, they are actually all liberated souls. Their so-called youth and old age are beyond the transformations of time. A high insurmountable wall, appearing like the glow of the dawn, surrounds all the smaller towns that comprise Nanda Maharaja's capital. The main gateways are huge, jewel-studded doors. These towns appear like festive arenas with canopies and colorful jeweled festoons hanging from the archways. Just as Suryadev has many large horses shining like diamonds, similarly, Nandishvara is full of broad, sparkling roadways. Just as the dancing of Shiva induces happiness, the sight of its many huge palaces brings joy to the heart. The many small attractive temples appear as radiant as the rising sun. Their brilliant golden rooftops rival the splendorous yellow cloth of Lord Narayana. Beautiful strands of pearls hang from the cornices. The pinnacles of the rooftops drive away all fear. Just as the chakora birds eagerly drink the rays of the moon, similarly, the effulgence of the moonstones forming the edges of the rooftops attracts the chakora birds. The jewel-studded verandas surrounding the palaces appear like glittering mountains of jewels. The sacrificial arenas of the palaces are adorned with flower garlands that resemble Lord Shiva accompanied by his decorated wife Parvati. Amongst all the towns, Nanda's village is the chief. The town wall is made of sapphires, and the houses are made of emeralds. The golden rooftops, coral pillars, crystal walls, cat's-eye towers, sapphire sitting platforms, and huge doors studded with large blue sapphires astound the eye with their beauty. The stunning opulence of Nandishvara puts to shame the brilliant palaces of the demigods. When the pet parrots make friends with the sculpted parrots standing on the jeweled walls, the delighted women cannot tell them apart. In their bewilderment, they offer pomegranate seeds to the sculpted parrots instead of the real ones. Nanda Maharaj, the king of Vrindavan, resides in this town as the embodiment of paternal affection. Manifesting the pure nature of the soul, he is the essence of all auspiciousness, a veritable island amidst an ocean of bliss. By assuming the role of Krishna's father, which he plays eternally, he has become endowed with all auspicious qualities. His wife Yashoda resides in Nandishvara as the embodiment of maternal affection, acting like a desire creeper offering the darshan of Krishna. As a beautiful flower spreads its fragrance in all directions, the effulgence of Yashoda's fame illuminates her entire dynasty. Hundreds of honest and gentle cowherd men live in this capital city. They are not attached to their families, but they are completely attached to Krishna. Although they diligently care for their domestic animals and maintain themselves by trading in milk and yogurt, they exist totally in the spiritual world. A few of the cowherd men are intimate relatives of Nanda Maharaj, but all of them are closely related to each other. The husbands embody religious principles, and the wives embody devotional feelings. Their sons are Krishna's cowherd boyfriends, and their daughters are his dearest lovers. Like the four Kumaras, all of Krishna's friends are eternally youthful. As flocks of birds decorate a forest, Krishna is surrounded by friends of the same age. Krishna and his friends have a very close and intimate relationship resembling the intimacy of flowers strung on a thread. Just as autumn lakes appear clear and joyous, and the dynasty of Brahaspati shines with glory, similarly the blissful boyfriends of Krishna have clear eyes and brilliantly effulgent hair. With their musk and sandal-scented bodies, Krishna's associates look as beautiful as Supratika, the elephant who holds up the northeast corner. Blossoming lotuses give pleasure in the autumn season, but the smiling lotus faces of Krishna's boyfriends bring happiness at all times. The well-proportioned ears of the boys resemble perfectly arranged melodies, With their elegantly shaped noses, the boys smell the wonderful fragrances of Vrindavan's flowers. The eyes of the cowherd boys flit about like the fickle movements of the spots on a gambler's dice. Their handsome and resplendent necks stand out distinctively like Sugriva radiating amongst Rama's legions of monkey soldiers. Their long, beautiful arms rival the trunks of baby elephants. Like the ever-increasing waves of the milk ocean, the chests of the boys are always swelling with happiness. The waists of the boys are as firm as the sides of an elephant. Krishna's friends have very strong thighs that give joy to everyone. They walk on their bare feet, which are as tender as the rays of the moon. The cowherd boys of Vrindavan far surpass the demigods, and they exist eternally as Krishna's beloved associates. Subal, Sridama, Sudama, and Vasudama are some of Krishna's intimate boyfriends. Now the intimate girlfriends of Krishna will be described. The delicate feet of Krishna's gopis resemble poetry full of wonderful rhymes. Their slender ankles move with the speed of the mind. As Sita achieved all auspiciousness by obeying the commands of Lakshman, the gopis have become all auspicious because of the incredible beauty of their knees. The thighs of the gopis conquer the splendor of the broad trunks of banana trees used to decorate a festival site. The sweetness of their graceful hips is more inspiring than the expert commentaries on difficult passages of the scriptures. As one cries upon meeting a long-lost friend, seeing their charming bellies, which are shaped like banyan leaves, brings tears of joy to the eyes. Just as repeated chanting of the holy name makes one fearless, the delightful navels of the gopis are endowed with repeated turns. As Krishna is inclined to give mercy to the fallen, he is also very attracted to the thin waists of the gopis. The sweet breasts of the gopis defeat the beauty of the clouds of the monsoon season. As the winter season is endowed with long nights, the gopis have long, graceful arms. Their throats have 3 attractive lines resembling a conch shell. As Lakshmi Devi's face is wiped by the fingers of Narayan, the gopis' faces are tenderly wiped by the fingers of Krishna. Their noses surpass the beauty of sesame flowers whose fragrance enhances the elegance of spring. Their captivating lotus eyes resemble the merciful glance of the Lord, blessing the world. With their beautiful ears, they always drink the sweet nectar of Hari Katha. The splendid curls in their hair put to shame the effulgence in Kuvera's golden city. The hairstyles of the gopis are more attractive than the western direction that is skillfully designed by Varuna, its presiding deity. Srimati Radharani reigns as the best of Krishna's beloved gopis. This beautiful young girl is resplendent with all good qualities such as mercy, sweetness, and vitality. As the crest jewel amongst Krishna's lovers, she possesses all ornaments and all types of emotional mellows. Radhika is a golden ketaki flower in a garden of prema, or a lightning flash in a cloud of sweetness, or a golden line on a testing stone of beauty. Radhika is the light of the moon of bliss. Her slender arms conquer the pride of Cupid. Radharani is the splendorous essence of the ocean of loveliness and the enchanting smile of those intoxicated by love. She is a mine of the 64 arts and the precious crest jewel of all good qualities. Radhika's complexion is more golden than 1,000 Parvatis. Radhika is also called Shama, which means that her transcendental body is warm in the winter and cool in the hot season. Her breasts are firm, full, and slightly raised, and very beautiful. Although existing since time immemorial, Radhika is an ever-fresh young girl. Radharani is the epitome of beauty and the life and soul of her girlfriends. Though just an innocent young girl, Radharani controls all the goddesses of fortune in the universe. Learned Pandits call her Mahalakshmi, Tantrics call her Leela Shakti, and Bhaktas call her Laudini Shakti. Radhika is ornamented by her dear friends who display all good qualities and move as her reflections. Among all the young gopis, there is one group leader named Chandravali, who is the crest jewel of dalliance. She bestows the bliss of 1,000,000 moons. As the material nature is endowed with the qualities of passion and ignorance, Chandravali has all good qualities. Just as the eye has the nature to see forms, similarly, her form is the natural embodiment of beauty. The essence of water is taste, rasa, and she is the essence of all rasa. Just as flowers distribute their fragrance to everyone, Chandravali gives bliss to all. Padma, Saibhya, and others serve her as her dearest companions. There is another Gopi group leader named Shama Saki, who is very dear to Radhika. Chandravali, therefore, though very prominent, is merely another Gopi group leader amongst the Braja Gopis. All the Brahmanas living in Nanda Baba's capital embody the principles of Bhagavad Dharma. They are extremely merciful and always display sense and mind control, tolerance and renunciation. With great skill they recite Shastras like the Bhagavad and always study the Narada Pancharatra and other Vedic works that corroborate the Bhagavad. They alone qualify for Nanda Maharaj's charity, and only they perform the appropriate rituals and ceremonies. Some of these Brahmanas worship the Aishvarya aspect of Krishna, and others adore the Madhurya feature of the Lord. After thorough study of the 18 branches of knowledge, they have become genuinely peaceful and fixed in their own realizations. It is not surprising that they have never been defeated in debate. Though possessing abundant wealth, they always remain humble and exhibit gentle behavior, friendship, kindness, and compassion to one and all. Their transcendental attributes are not the byproducts of material goodness, passion, or ignorance. What more can be said of their exalted spiritual stature? Although the oil sellers, tumbler salesmen, goldsmiths, pot makers, weavers, and blacksmiths have spiritual forms, they behave like ordinary humans. Commanding the respect of all pious men, they freely distribute their wealth whenever needed. They do not have material bodies, nor do they experience the sufferings of ordinary mortals. The bees of the monsoon season give joy to all the flowers, yet others do not appreciate them. They resemble Vrindavan's Pulinda women, wanton aborigines, who are also not much appreciated, but because of their devotion, they have secured the praises of the demigods. Rows of huge Goshalas spread out in all directions in Nanda Maharaj's capital. The 4 long crystal walls of these Goshalas are topped with emerald beams and golden cross beams that extend beyond the walls. In all corners are ruby cornices firmly attached to the emerald beams. They too have sparkling jeweled surfaces which make them look like jeweled mountain peaks. Just as a wise man is without pride, these Goshalas are devoid of pillars. As the intelligence of a friendly person is pure and broad, the Goshalas are very clean and expansive. Just as a king's palace has numerous doors, the Goshalas have many splendid doors, and they are dust-free and devoid of breezes. Standing in the yards of the Goshalas are the best of cows, which are as white as the full moon and have horns as dark as peaks of blue sapphires. The thick bushy tails of these cows resemble the long hair of the ladies of Vrindavana. Upon seeing Krishna, the cows are overwhelmed with joy and lift up their tails. This looks as splendid as the effulgence of Bhagavan's chakra as it cuts down the demons. Just as a person bows down to respect the holy waters of a tirtha, similarly the heads of the cows hang down due to the heavy, thick folds of skin under their necks. Their full milk bags resemble the rotund body of Ganesh. Like the mind, these cows are independent and cannot be easily bound. Sadhakas gain happiness by engaging in austerities, and the cows feel delighted when they are milked. The cows of Vrindavan are called Kamadhenus because they fulfill all desires, just like Chintamani gems. As the summer season is ornamented with blooming Kutaja flowers, the cows are decorated with happy calves. Literary embellishments increase the sweetness of skillfully written poems. Similarly, the varieties of multicolored cows beautify the Goshalas. The Goshalas are alive with herds of calves jumping about. These adorable calves look like clumps of foam from the milk ocean, spots of moonlight cast on the ground, or like ice boulders from Mount Kailash tumbling along the earth. They are the purest of offerings to the demigods. The huge bulls look like crystal boulders or big waves in the ocean of yogurt. Sleeping peacefully in their pens, they look like ancient sages in meditation. Like liberated souls, they freely wander here and there. Their huge horns resemble the tusks of the directional elephants. The high humps on their backs resemble the parasol and fans held above a king. With their red eyes and slow movements, they appear stunned like intoxicated persons. When the bulls let out a loud bellow, it sounds like the boisterous talk of proud men. The skin folds flapping around their necks resemble the long blankets draped over the backs of renunciates. Due to reflecting the light from the domes of the jeweled palaces, it looks like their horns are multicolored. When a whirlwind stirs up the jeweled earth to cover the bulls with jeweled dust, they appear distinguished like the personifications of Dharma. All the cows of Vrindavan are expansions from Goloka. The capital of Nanda Maharaj is decorated with rows of shops made of jewels, which spread out from the crossroads in neat rows. They are equipped with many bright flags that appear like the victory flags of a triumphant king. As oysters are decorated with pearls, the shops are ornamented with long strands of pearls. These shops, which have wide verandas resembling the thick new leaves appearing in spring, are the dwelling places of the merchants. Some shops smell like the spring season, and others are scented with sandalwood, aguru, kasturi, and just the ointments on a lover's chest. Some shops are heavy with the scent of ripe paddy fields, and others are as effulgent as a mine of jewels. Surrounding the town are many rows of small forest groves filled with varieties of multi-hued trees, resembling beaches covered with colorful coral. Just as a commander is equipped with many types of elephants and troops, these forests have many types of kunjas and bowers. With their many dangling creepers, the forests resemble renunciates engaged in austerities. Just as Rasikas derive pleasure from the playful pastimes of Krishna, similarly these forests please the birds by providing playgrounds for their pastimes. The Vanadevis wander hand in hand along the forest paths, softened from the sap constantly dripping from the trees. The forest bulls relieve their itching by rubbing their humps against the trees. This action forms lac dust, which mixes with the honey flowing down the trees to form a natural lac, which looks very beautiful when it sticks on the lac-covered feet of the forest goddesses. The whole forest is sweetly scented from the juice of the cocola berries spilling out of the mouths of the wild rams as they contentedly ruminate. The air is also scented from the aromatic bark of the devadaru trees rubbed off by the horns of wild buffalo. The sides of the hill are strewn with branches of the salaki tree, a favorite food of elephants, broken by the tusks of the wild baby elephants, and the ground is covered with bunches of half-eaten grapes scattered by families of monkeys. The Aborigine women who wander through these thick forest groves have dark blue maricha flowers adorning their ears, and the juice of camphor flowers smeared on their hands. Their mouths are fragrant from chewing tambula. Besides the previously described forest of Vrindavan, there are many other forests such as Kamyavan and Lohavan. The russet trees and other exotic vegetation in these forests create an extraordinary atmosphere. There are many trees such as mango, coconut, arjuna, banyan, palasa, yellow sal, bal, jambu, ashok, bakula, naga champaka, golden champa, sirasa, lodra, piala, salaki, pilu, kadamba, karavira, and tamal. Vines and shrubs include navamalika, kanaka yujika, lavanga, madhavi, stala padma, malika, kandali, and tulasi. Lakes full of crystal clear water covered with water lilies and white, blue, and red lotuses lie scattered throughout these forests. These lakes resound with the singing of herons, ducks, swans, cranes, ospreys, and chakravakas. From the descriptions in the first part of this chapter, it is understood that Brajamandal, although completely spiritual, is situated within the material world. A person afflicted with jaundice sees a white conch as yellow due to the disease's effect on his vision. Similarly, a person with mundane vision sees Vrindavana as a material place. Out of his independent will, the Supreme Lord desired to appear in this world as the baby son of two personalities named Nanda and Yashoda, the eternal embodiments of parental affection. What is impossible for the Lila Shakti, the pastime potency of Krishna, who is the origin of all avatars and the ocean of all pastimes? One may object, asking, why does Krishna perform pastimes in the material world? The only reason is to give pleasure to his devotees. In order to reveal the mood of parental affection arising from the activities of babyhood, and so on, Krishna agreed to become the son of Nanda and Yashoda. Accepting their care and attention, the omnipotent Lord covered his majesty with an unprecedented sweetness. By exhibiting all the different stages of boyhood, such as Kumara, Poganda, and Kaishora, the Supreme Lord Krishna appeared like an ordinary human being. But throughout these stages, Krishna remained in his original form as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Although Madhurya Ras is predominant in Vrindavan, the previous verse has only mentioned parental affection. The reason for this is that all the pastimes with the cows, gopas, and gopis also go on eternally in the spiritual world. But Krishna's babyhood pastimes and the pastimes of killing demons exist only in the Gokula in the material world. Thus one should understand that the sweetness of Bhoma Lila is not available in the spiritual world. Ananda Vrindavan Champu, Chapter 1. Auspicious Prayers and Descriptions of Vrindavana. I offer my respectful obeisances to the lotus feet of Krishna, which are bound in friendship's constant embrace to the breasts of the Braja Gopis and permanently stained with their fine bodily ointments. The radiant pink color of Krishna's foot soles come from the kumkum anointing the upper part of the gopis' breasts. The dark blue color of his feet originates from the musk spread on the lower part of their breasts. The waves of light emanating from his moon-like nails come from the sandalwood paste covering the middle portion of their breasts. May the two lotus feet of Krishna, the enemy of Putana, always protect us. His delicate toes resemble the petals of a pink lotus flower, and his slender ankles resemble the stalk of a lotus. His lotus feet hold the honey of his devotees' faith. The streams of light emanating from his toenails resemble the stamens of a lotus. The kumkum powder from the budding breasts of Radhika, which clings to his foot soles, resembles the pollen of a lotus flower. All glories to the most worshipable Lord Chaitanya Krishna, Hari, who is fragrant with the honey of the sweetest love. His method of worship is like a forest of golden lotuses. He is an overflowing cascade of nectarian mercy, a golden mountain of prema, and a lightning flash signifying victory for the cloud-like assembly of devotees. I offer my respects to Sri Advaita Acharya, the beloved associate of Lord Chaitanya, who is very affectionate to everyone, including me, and who destroys the sins of the whole world. I offer my respects to Swarup Damodar, Ray Ramananda, and the Goswamis headed by Rupa and Sanatan. These exalted personalities fully represent Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu because they possess the same prema qualities, compassion, pleasure, and sweetness. I offer my humble respects to Srinath, my guru, who appeared in a Brahmin family, just like the moon rising from the ocean. Being the object of Mahaprabhu's love, he was the crest jewel of the earth. Whoever tasted the pure Hari Katha flowing from his mouth immediately lost all attachments to worldly pleasures and desired only to serve Radha and Krishna in Vrindavan. Sri Chaitanya and his eternal associates have all returned to Goloka Vrindavan far beyond the vision of this world. Because of the absence of qualified hearers of Ras, the skillful writers of Ras have also disappeared. With them, the ability to understand Ras and Prema also vanquished. Alas, the fragrance of perfectly composed poetry finds no shelter. O Mother Saraswati, how can I properly praise you? It is not possible for any living entity to describe your variegated pastimes. Although the poet may try to firmly bind you and glorify your activities with the ropes of flowery phrases and other poetic devices, such an attempt will merely inflate his pride. If by chance the binding becomes loose, then the natural meaning of the work will at once disappear. O poets, just listen. What is the fault in verses of praise if the devotional poet uses them to bind the Lord in his heart with ropes of affection? In answer to this, he says, O Saraswati, by your mercy, we can obtain unlimited joy. Just as one worships the ocean with ocean water, similarly, we worship you with eloquent words. To repay you for the bliss you have so mercifully given, I will bathe you in the nectarian stream of Krishna's pastimes. Now, Saraswati Devi, please stay here and listen attentively. One may ask, why produce a new literary work when new poets always find faults with the great works of the previous poets? One scholar will find defects in another's work, and another learned man will find defects in his. But one should ignore the critics. Since every living entity cherishes his own life, he will not see any defects in his own actions. Similarly, although a lamp cannot illuminate its own base, it removes the darkness from the four directions. Just as smoke precedes the light of fire, similarly, a man often displays some defects before he exhibits perfection. You may say that this literary work has no other purpose than to show off my ability to overpower the reader with poetic embellishments. However, the words of an expert poet can inspire the heart even without resorting to literary ornaments. Just as even without bathing, a person becomes purified by glancing at a sacred river. Words remain independent and faultless until the poet combines them into verses. Similarly, even though a poetic work may be endowed with attractive ornaments, qualities, and mellows, some people will only see the faults in it. One should reject such a deceitful mentality that acts only to find faults in another. O fault finder, O one with a deceitful tongue, you are like a sweeper man whose only job is to clean up a place full of the dirty objects discarded by others. We therefore are reluctant to touch you. Deceit is like fingernails or hair. In cutting or removing them, no one feels any pain, and when growing, they give only distress. Truly I say that a man cannot become liberated until he gives up the quality of deceit. Now that the fault-finders have been duly warned, I, Kavi Karnapur, admit that I have written Ananda Vrindavan Champu for my own pleasure. Overflowing with Krishna's sweet glories, this work will saturate the minds of the thirsty sadhakas with immeasurable transcendental bliss. A skillfully strung garland always looks beautiful regardless of the number of flowers. And what more can be said if those flowers exude a sweet fragrance? The object of this poetic work is to inundate the reader with the fragrant qualities and pastimes of Krishna, the beautiful. The Yamuna River. The famous river Yamuna flows through the Vrindavana forest like a garland of blue lotuses, a mote of kajal, a dark blue sari, or a necklace of blue sapphires around the neck of Brindadevi, the presiding deity of Vrindavana. Though agitated with waves, the Yamuna holds unlimited lotus flowers in her pure waters and always gives Premananda to the devotees. Hirans continually play in her water, and delighted fish swim in large schools. Yamuna grants happiness to anyone who surrenders to her or bathes in her sacred waters. Yamuna is resplendent with a multicolored bodice composed of many tiny Saivala creepers floating on her surface. The male and female Chakravaka birds form her breasts. Her colorful dress is composed of the pollen from white lotuses. A swarm of meandering bumblebees serves as her hair braid. She has blue lotus eyes, red lotus lips, and a face of blooming lotuses. Her hips are her wide banks decorated with a belt of hirans. Sonorous geese sing as her ankle bells. Yamuna Devi, the personification of bliss, worships Krishna by constantly offering him lotus flowers with her fickle wave-like hands. The flower-filled trees on her banks reflect in the water to appear like a second blossoming forest. Seeing the reflections of birds in the water, the foolish fish come there and nibble at them. At night, when they see the reflection of the stars in the water, the small fish, mistaking them for food, swim up to the surface and try to eat them. The shimmering white banks of the Yamuna appear like streams of camphor, or attractive lightning flashing in the dark, or sandalwood paste smeared on the limbs of Brindadevi, or malati garlands in the braid of a woman. On these banks stand flower beds situated between emerald green strips of grass. Attractive kunjas and many beautiful sub-forests containing Chintamani cottages also line the Jamuna's banks. Parrots, cuckoos, chakoras, and water birds such as ducks, hirans, sararis, kuraris, Chakravakas move about in courtyards surrounding these Chintamani cottages singing happily. They appear like a group of Rasika devotees discussing the delightful pastimes of Krishna. Bathing ghats made of rubies, coral, emeralds, and Vaidurya gems line the Jamuna's shores. These ghats appear like the embodiment of auspiciousness. The four tall trees forming the corners of the forest cottages have many leafy branches that hang down to make natural canopies. Two creepers wind around each of these trees to appear like a pair of embracing lovers. The creepers entangle with their flowers, leaves, and fruits to make a wonderful sight. Flowering creepers comprise the walls of the pastime cottages. The entwined branches of various creepers form the cottage doors that are surrounded by other fragrant creepers. Varieties of colorful flowers hang down to make the domes above the cottages. dangling flower creepers move as natural chamara fans. Ananda Vrindavan Champu, Chapter 2. The Appearance of Lord Krishna. Now we will discuss the truth about the transcendental birthplace of Bhagavan and the appearance of Lord Sri Krishna. Once upon a time, Bhumi, the predominating deity of the earth, felt overburdened by different demons posing as members of the royal order. Feeling aggrieved upon seeing her miserable condition, the lotus-born Brahma appealed to Kshirodakshaya Vishnu, the maintainer of the universe, saying, "Please deliver Goddess Bhumi, who is feeling greatly distressed by these demoniac kings. Only you can remove this terrible influence from the earth." The time for an appearance of the Lord coincided with two internal desires of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. First, the Lord desired to descend on earth to increase the fortune of Yashoda and Nanda. Also at that time, Krishna wanted to relish the sweet mellow of Shingara Ras, paramour love, while enacting his worldly pastimes. For these two reasons, the Lord appeared within the material creation on Bhuloka, Earth planet, along with his parents, friends, and other eternal associates. Another distinction of Lord Krishna's earthly pastimes is that when the eternally liberated gopis such as Srimati Radharani, Chandravali, and others appeared, the Shrutis personified also appeared in the homes of the other gopis, because they had previously cultivated the desire to serve Sri Krishna as Braja gopis. The Dandakaranya sages, upon seeing the Swakiya Bhav, the sweet conjugal relationship of Lord Ramchandra and Sita Devi, desired to have the same relationship with their Lord, Madan Gopal. Upon attaining perfection in their sadhana, they achieved the fortunate position of appearing as gopis in Vrindavana. Yogamaya, Lord Krishna's pastime potency, who possesses unlimited abilities, appeared invisibly in Gokula to arrange this, and perform other difficult tasks on behalf of the Lord. Sri Nanda, Yashoda, and others appeared in Brahadvana, that's Mahavana, before the Lord. The Gopas, Gopis, and other eternally liberated associates appeared after the Lord. Then those who had attained perfection by sadhana, namely the Shruti Charis and Muni Charis, took birth in Vrindavana. Learning of Krishna's imminent appearance, the earth personified, feeling like a wife happily greeting her husband after a long separation, immersed in unlimited joy. At the time of Krishna's birth, the general mass of people tasted the inner bliss that devotees forever relish. Auspicious signs abounded everywhere. As Vishnu's conch shell, Panchajanya, opens in a clockwise fashion, similarly, auspicious sacrificial fires glowed in all directions. Pure gentle breezes brought a refreshing coolness, like devotees who satisfy and sanctify everyone with their calm, sweet, and affectionate behavior. The whole atmosphere became as completely purified as the heart of a devotee. The devotees once again found peace and prosperity in worshipping the lotus feet of Lord Hari. Fruits filled the jubilant trees, but the envious demons exhibited various inauspicious signs of degradation, such as rapidly aging bodies and symptoms of imminent death. The desire vines of the celestial denizens seemed to be hanging in the air as if eager to produce fruits. At that time, all the directions became as pure and joyful as the mind of a devotee who has received the mercy of Lord Hari. Just as gems, mantras, or medicines can remove a poisonous disease from the body of a man, the advent of the Lord relieved the world from the contamination of material existence and the sinful effect of the demon. Happiness gradually replaced the distress in everyone's hearts. The bodies of all creatures manifested extraordinary beauty and youthful vitality. Men felt extremely joyful and displayed virtuous qualities. Throughout the world, people behaved cordially and interacted amicably. Happiness twinkled in everyone's eye. At the end of Dwapara Yuga, which completely destroys faults and doubts, an auspicious, favorable, obstacle-free time appeared on the 8th day of the waning moon in the Bhadra month. Just at that sweet moment, the Rohini Nakshatra, along with the good qualities of the moon, and an auspicious conjunction of stars called Ayushman, appeared in the sky to give shelter to gentle persons. As the living entity comes out from the womb of his mother, and the moon appears on the lap of the eastern direction, Yogeshwara Sri Krishna, the personification of complete bliss, appeared amidst great festivities. As the moon appears in the lap of the eastern direction, which is like a beautiful bride, Krishna manifested the wonderful pastime of his appearance out of his love and compassion for the conditioned souls. Due to austerities performed in previous lives, Vasudeva and Devaki received the opportunity to momentarily relish parental affection for Lord Sri Krishna when he appeared before them in his form as Vasudeva. Thereafter, in fear of Kamsa, Vasudeva brought Vasudeva Krishna to Gokul. There the Supreme Lord appeared as Govinda before Nanda and Yashoda, his eternal parents, who have been smothering him with the sweetest form of parental love since time immemorial. 4 symbols of Vishnu, Sankha, Chakra, Gada, Padma, adorned his hands and feet. The flute, flower garland, and Kostubhamani, although present within him, had not yet manifested. In fear of cruel Kamsa, Vasudeva decided to transfer all his wives except Devaki to Gokula. He sent Rohini to the house of Brajaraja Nanda. By the sweet will of the Lord, Yogamaya arranged for the 7th child of Devaki, Balaram, to enter the womb of Rohini. As a result, Balaram appeared in the home of Brajaraja Nanda before the birth of Krishna. Lord Hari, who is bliss personified, appeared in the home of Nanda Maharaj, the king of Vrindavan, for 3 reasons: to engage the self-satisfied sages in devotional service, to please the devotees by performing sweet transcendental pastimes, and to relieve the earth's burden caused by the demons. At the time of his majestic birth, Krishna employed his inconceivable powers to appear in a body of eternity, bliss, and knowledge. Everyone in the maternity room swelled with joy upon seeing the Lord's exquisite transcendental form that looked like a creeper of beauty. Mother Yashoda resembled a lake of spiritual ecstasy in which a brilliant blue lotus personified bliss had appeared. Neither the wind nor the bees relished the fragrance of that blue lotus. That unborn lotus was never touched by the waves or the modes of nature. Even Lord Brahma could not see it, what to speak of ordinary men. After Yashoda and her family members fell asleep in the maternity room, Hari cried beautifully like a newborn baby. His crying sounded like the Mahavakya Omkara, announcing the auspicious arrival of his pastimes. Omkara is a transcendental vibration that had previously emanated from the mouth of Lord Brahma. When the ladies of Vrindavana heard the sweet sound of Krishna's crying, they woke up and ran to see the Lord. With the mellow of their matchless, overflowing affection, they anointed his body. The natural fragrance of Krishna's body smelled just like musk. After the ladies bathed Krishna in sweet ambrosia, he looked cleansed and beautiful. Then they smeared his body with fragrant sandalwood pulp. The presiding deity of the house sent a champaka flower resembling the flame of a lamp into the maternity room to worship that ornament of the 3 worlds. With the strength of his little arms, delicate as the tender leaves of a tree, Krishna made all the lamps in the maternity room look like a garland of lotus flower buds. The ladies of Vrindavan saw baby Krishna like a blossoming flower made of the best of blue sapphires, or like a newly unfurled leaf of a tamal tree. Krishna looked like a fresh rain cloud, decorated with the musk tilak of the goddess of fortune of the three worlds. The ointment of the greatest auspiciousness lined his eyes. His presence filled the maternity room with good fortune. Although a mere baby, Krishna had a head full of curly hair. To hide the unique signs on his hands, the goad, fish, conch, etc., the Lord folded his delicate petal-like fingers into his lotus palm. At that time, Krishna laid on his back with his eyes closed. Mother Yashoda awoke amidst the joyous clattering of the elderly gopis. Leaning over the bed, she admired her gorgeous son, but upon noticing her own reflection on Krishna's body, she imagined it another woman. Thinking that a witch had assumed her form to kidnap Krishna, Yashoda became bewildered and yelled, "Get out of here! You go away!" Spontaneously she cried out to Nrsingadeva to protect her precious son. Beholding Krishna's tender face, Yashoda showered tears of affection that looked like an offering of a pearl necklace. Yashoda saw Krishna's body as a mound of dark blue musk, softer than the butter churned from the milk ocean. Overflowing with nectar, his charming body appeared like the foam of milk, but being dark blue in color, it seemed the foam was full of musk juice. Admiring the supremely delicate form of her son, Yashoda worried about his safety and feared the touch of her body might hurt his tender body. As she leaned over the bed, Yashoda bathed Krishna with the milk dripping from her breasts. The elderly gopis instructed Yashoda how to caress the baby in her lap and affectionately pushed the nipple of her breast into Krishna's mouth to feed him. Due to Yashoda's intense love, personified bliss flowed from her breasts as steady as streams of milk. When milk sometimes spilled out of Krishna's bimba fruit red lips onto his cheeks, Mother Yashoda would wipe his face with the edge of her cloth. After feeding her son, Yashoda gazed affectionately at him. She saw her child's body as made of dazzling blue sapphires. His mouth resembled a red bimba fruit, and his hands and feet looked like exquisite rubies. Krishna's nails shone like precious gems. In this way, Yashoda thought her child was completely made of jewels. Then she perceived that his naturally reddish lips looked like panduka flowers. His hands and feet resembled java flowers. His nails looked like malika flowers. Yashoda then thought, Krishna's whole body seems to be made of blue lotus flowers. He does not appear to be mine. After thus deliberating within herself, Yashoda became stunned in amazement. The beautiful, soft, curly hairs on the right side of Krishna's chest resembled the tender stems of a lotus. Seeing the mark of Shivats on his chest, Yashoda thought it was breast milk that had previously spilled out of his mouth. She tried unsuccessfully to remove these milk stains with the edge of her cloth. Struck with wonder, Yashoda thought that this must be the sign of a great personality. Observing the sign of Lakshmi, a small golden line on the left side of Krishna's chest, Yashoda thought a small yellow bird had made a nest amidst the leaves of a tamal tree. Could this be a streak of lightning resting on a rain cloud? Or could it be the golden streaks marking a black gold testing stone? Krishna's delicate leaf-like hands and feet, glowing pink like the rising sun, looked like clusters of lotus flowers floating in the Yamuna. Sometimes Yashoda saw the curly dark blue locks of baby Krishna as a swarm of bumblebees surrounding his face. Intoxicated from drinking too much honey nectar, the bees just hovered in the sky. His thick, beautiful blue hair appeared like the dark night. The two lotus eyes of Krishna looked like a pair of blue lotus buds. His cheeks resembled two huge bubbles floating in a lake of liquefied blue sapphires. Krishna's attractive ears looked like a pair of fresh, unfurled leaves growing on a blue creeper. The tip of Krishna's dark nose appeared like the sprout of a tree, and his nostrils looked like bubbles in the Yamuna river. the daughter of the sun god. His lips resembled a pair of java flower buds. Krishna's chin rivaled a pair of ripe red jambu fruits. Seeing the extraordinary beauty of her son fulfilled the purpose of her eyes and submerged Yashoda in an ocean of bliss. The elderly Brajavasi ladies addressed Brajaraj Nanda. "O most fortunate one, you fathered a son." Previously, Nanda Maharaj had felt deeply aggrieved over his long-standing inability to obtain a son. His heart was like a small lake that had completely dried up during a long hot summer. But when Nanda Maharaj heard of his son's birth, he felt as if the dry lake of his heart had been blessed with a sudden downpour of nectar. The gentle sound of Krishna's voice removed all his grief and lamentation. Now he bathed in the rains of bliss, swam in the ocean of nectar, and felt embraced by the joyful stream of the celestial Ganges. Eager to see his son, Nanda's body thrilled with astonishment and waves of ecstasy as he stood outside the maternity room. Because he had accumulated heaps of pious activities, it appeared that the king of Vrindavan was now shaking hands with the personification of pious deeds. Anxiously standing in the background, Yogamaya induced Nanda Maharaj to enter the maternity room. He rushed in to see his son, the personified seed of condensed bliss. It seemed that all the auspiciousness of the three worlds now resided within Krishna, the original cause of everything. Nanda saw his son as a perfectly charming person. The kajal around Krishna's eyes looked like lines on the black creeper of beauty. As the very embodiment of Nanda's good fortune, Shri Krishna bloomed like a beautiful flower in a garden of desire trees. The aparajata flower is compared to the body of the Queen of Vrindavan. Her son is like the representative of the Upanishads that are compared to the fruit of the desire creepers. By seeing his glorious son, Nanda felt that he had attained happiness, perfection, and the fulfillment of all his desires. Meeting that embodiment of bliss overwhelmed Nanda with immeasurable satisfaction. He stood motionless, stunned. His hair stood erect, and tears flowed from his eyes. He appeared like a person carved in stone or a figure drawn in a painting. For some time, Nanda Maharaj remained in this semi-conscious state like a sleeping man about to waken. Upananda, Sunanda, and other relatives felt extremely joyful while observing the best of Brahmanas perform the rites of purification for Krishna's birth. To ensure his son's welfare, Nanda Maharaj donated newborn calves to each and every Brahmana, thus turning their homes into abodes of Surabhi cows. These cows had gold and silver-plated horns and hooves and jeweled necklaces adorning their necks. In addition, Brajapati Nanda filled the courtyards of their homes with hills of gold, jewels, and sesame seeds. While Nanda distributed charity, the Kamadhenus, touchstones, and desire trees lost their power to produce valuable items. Even the jewel-producing oceans lost their stock of jewels, and the goddess of fortune, the abode of lotuses, had but one lotus in her hand. The auspicious news of Krishna's wonderful appearance spread in all directions by word of mouth. Delight danced in the hearts of Nanda, his brothers Upananda and Sunanda, and all the other gopas. The gopas brought many varieties of delicious dairy products such as milk, yogurt, butter, wet cheese, and hard cheese in jewel-studded pots. The pots were tied to the ends of bamboo poles with jute straps and carried on their shoulders. Bedecked with many precious jeweled ornaments, the gopas appeared very handsome. They dressed in beautiful yellow cloth, defeating the brilliance of lightning, and held staffs topped with golden jewels in their lotus hands. As a great ocean spreads its waves in all directions, the birth of Krishna filled the Brajavasis with unbounded bliss. The gopas and gopis enjoyed a grand festival by happily eating and splashing each other's bodies with a mixture of yogurt, butter, milk, and condensed milk. The society girls visiting Nanda Maharaj's house experienced more happiness than they had ever felt since their birth. Their minds saturated with joy and satisfaction. Hearing the delightful description of Krishna's birth carried away the chariots in their minds and made them abandon all other duties. They became possessed with the desire to see Krishna. Sparkling rubies hung from the necklaces adorning the society girls. Their diamond-studded armlets shone more beautifully than drops of crystal-clear water. Their jeweled, inlaid golden bangles boasted unparalleled excellence. For this unique festival, they took out some highly ornamented waist belts from their jewel boxes and tied them around their hips. The jingling of the waist bells resting on their broad hips enhanced the beauty of these society girls. They attracted the minds of everyone with their bulky golden anklets, loosened hair braids, and graceful gait, which seemed like the gliding of swans. Their minds entered a state of enchantment as they gazed upon the captivating beauty of Krishna's transcendental body. To worship Krishna, they brought golden trays full of auspicious articles such as fruits, flowers, yogurt, durva grass, uncooked rice, and jewel-bedecked lamps. They covered the offering plates with splendid yellow silk cloth and held them in their soft lotus hands. Their jeweled ankle bells vibrated pleasantly as they walked. Beholding the astounding beauty of the delicate baby, the society girls considered the purpose of their eyes fulfilled. They perceived Krishna's perfect birth to be like the appearance of the leaves of an important herbal medicine. Krishna resembled a blue lotus floating in the lake of his parents' affection. After bestowing their blessings for Krishna's prosperity, they worshiped Krishna with fresh flowers and a constant shower of loving glances. With great enthusiasm, the society girls glorified Vajeshwari Yashoda, since she had attained the essence of all good fortune by having Krishna as her son. Leaving the maternity room, the society girls entered the assembly hall of Nanda Maharaja's palace. Their faces looked exceedingly beautiful as they sung melodious songs which resembled the soft, sweet humming of bees moving amidst a cluster of lotus flowers. All the guests bathed in a nectar shower produced by these soothing sounds. Overwhelmed with love, they filled their lotus palms with fragrant oil, turmeric paste, and fresh butter and started smearing each other's faces and bodies. They looked very attractive with their smiling faces and glittering white teeth. Their red lips seemed more beautiful than red banduka flowers. This incredible display of elegance smashed the pride of the goddess of fortune of the three worlds. Carried away with joy over Krishna's birth, they fearlessly threw cheese balls, butter, and yogurt at each other. One could mistake the white balls of cheese for hailstones, solidified moonlight, or white mud from the floor of the milk ocean. They showered each other with buttermilk, aromatic oils, and water mixed with turmeric. Cymbals, damru drums, bidis, and big drums vibrated auspicious sounds and specific melodies. A celestial concert of precise poetic meters, proper rhythms, and metrical compositions suddenly manifested there. The musical ensemble inspired the society girls to sing and dance in mirth and merriment. Though not good singers, by the will of the Lord they sang with great virtuoso. Then wonderful songs filled Nanda Maharaja's heart with joy. The combined vibrations of brahmanas chanting Vedic hymns, the recitation of Puranic lore, and the poets' prayers transformed the ethers into Shabda Brahman. The joy of Krishna's birth celebration taxed the drains of Nanda's capital city as they swelled to the brim with milk, yogurt, and other auspicious liquids. Soon rivers of this nectar flooded the streets of the town and permeated the entire atmosphere with a sweet fragrance. Disguising themselves as birds, the demigods descended to Brajapura to happily drink the flood of nectar. The Brajavasis decorated their cows with gold and jeweled ornaments. Then, in great excitement, they smeared them with oil, fresh butter, and turmeric paste. Beholding Krishna in their hearts, these fortunate cows looked like the essence of the earth's auspiciousness. The whole world resounded with their jubilant bellowing. Absorbed in the ecstasy of Krishna's birth, they forgot all about eating and drinking. The festival drowned the gopis in an ocean of joy. After offering oil, vermilion, garlands, and utensils in charity to all the assembled gopis, Rohini, the wife of Vasudeva, asked them to bless Krishna. Upon completion of the sacrifice, Upananda and the other relatives felt constant happiness while taking their baths. Keeping the king of Vrindavan in the front, Nanda's relatives offered opulent cloth, jeweled ornaments, tambula, garlands, and sandalwood pulp to the guests. Then they humbly requested all in attendance to bless that wonderfully auspicious boy who had just appeared in Vrindavan. Ananda Brindavan Champu, Chapter 3. The Killing of Putana. The Supreme Brahman, taking the form of a human being, descended on earth and assumed the mood of a village boy. Although he appeared like an ordinary human to the common people, Sri Krishna, who is famous as the beautiful form of supreme transcendence, has a completely pure spiritual body. Manifesting along with his divine consort, he fully satisfied the minds of everyone. Once, Raja having accepted the customs of ordinary people, followed the proper etiquette to protect his city, and went to Mathura with other senior men to pay taxes to King Kamsa for their yearly milk production. The Yadus and their faithful servants accompanied him. In Mathura, King Kamsa had previously tried to kill the 8th child of Devaki, who appeared as the personification of Yogamaya. At that time, Yogamaya severely rebuked Kamsa, who was known as Kalanemi in his previous life, saying, "You fool! What benefit will you get by killing me? The one who will kill you has already taken birth somewhere else." Remembering his past enmity toward Lord Vishnu, that cruel and wicked Kamsa then tactfully sent Putana Rakshasi to Vrindavan to kill baby Krishna. She was as foreboding as an evil planet. Capable of assuming any form, Putana came to Nanda's capital disguised as the most beautiful woman in the 3 worlds. The villagers became attracted and bewildered by seeing such an exceptionally charming woman. In this way, Putana astonished the minds of everyone with her superbly enchanting form. Seeing the extraordinary elegance of Putana, the Brajabasis openly mocked the famous society girls of heaven, saying, "O Urvashi, you are the best of the heavenly damsels, but in the presence of Putana you are no more than a beggar. O Alambushe, there is no use maintaining the high bamboos of your pride any longer, for it has now been crushed. O Rambe, very soon you will become the consort of a frog. O Grahitachi, your fame, which can be compared to a line of melted butter, is now as valuable as a crematorium covered by water. O Menake, all my followers now laugh heartily at you. O Pramboliche, a rushing current has now washed away the treasure of your beauty. O Chitraleke, your captivating form appears now like lines in a painting. O Tilatame, your glorious fame has dwindled to nil. Everyone wondered about the identity of Putana. The Brajabasis thought, "Is this lady the presiding demigoddess of Vrindavan? Is she the goddess of fortune of the 3 worlds? Is she a creeper of lightning appearing without a cloud? Is she a friend of the kumada flowers blossoming under the moon? When Putana entered Yashoda's home, the Brajabasis concluded that the goddess of the three worlds had favored that great soul, the king of Vrindavan, by personally coming to render all kinds of service. Like a thief executing his nefarious plan, that shameless woman Putana, her heart full of cruelty and ignorance, courageously entered the house. Putana saw her baby Krishna as a spark of a powerful fire capable of burning the sum total of all misfortune to ashes. That boy shone like the transcendental flame of a lamp competent to subdue all enemies produced by the dense darkness of night. He was just like another Augusta Rishi who could easily swallow the deadly ocean of poison represented by material existence. Baby Krishna lay on a bed as white as the rays of a full moon, or the foam produced from churning the ocean of milk. The baby looked like a great emerald sprouting from a field of powdered camphor. Putana played the part of the sweet deceiver who outwardly speaks pleasing words, but harbors cruelty within his vicious heart. She exactly resembled a well covered with grass in order to trap a wild elephant. Her attractive form rivaled the jeweled sheath of a deadly sword. Although assuming the form of a desired creeper, Putana posed as a poisonous plant. Displaying motherly affection, Putana held the baby in her lap. Yashoda and Rohini wondered, is this woman Bhagavati Gauri, or is she the presiding deity of the material elements? Is she the consort of Indra, the queen of Varuna, or the consort of Agni Deva? Has she appeared here to display affection toward my son? Thinking thus, they did not prevent Putana from offering her breast milk to the baby. At that time, Brajeshwari Yashoda thought, am I the mother, or is this woman the mother of my child? Fearlessly Putana picked up baby Krishna and cuddled him in her lap. The compassionate Lord, who was absolute knowledge personified, acted unaware of the situation. Accepting Putana as his mother, Krishna immediately climbed up on her lap. Yashoda and Rohini watched attentively as Putana
Govinda, Hare Krishna, Govinda, Hare Krishna, Ram Bhajami, Bhagavata Samasida Buddha Sundaranga Gandhar Bhagavati Kamaniya Vishesasura Govinda Hare Krishna Angani Asya Sakara Bhakti Karanti Siram Jagati Ananda Jimata Yaragasa Govinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Thank you all very much. Thank you. Very good. Yes, sweet.
Any water wey you dey?
No, this one.
I bought this one. I was asking her if it's she said yes.
Sweet. Cheese.
Next. Before you let, you don't see that thing.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. We are going to do Deity greeting and have a Damodara sticker. Hari Hari Wo.
Hare Krishna Shila Gurudev. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Shila
Krishna,
Gurudev.
Hare Krishna.
And the obeisances.
Thank you. Enjoy your day on your prasad.
Thank you,
Hare
Gurudev. Hare Bol.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
See you
Krishna.
later. Today we have our class.
Yes, Gurudev.
The same time, 2 o'clock?
Yes. You have your program in the temple.
Yes,
What time would it be, Gurudev?
2 o'clock.
Okay. So, should we have a shorter session today?
Yeah, right? You can do the same 2 o'clock. I'll finish
Okay.
only another second. I'll finish. That's so we can start by 3.
All right.
All right. Hare Krishna. See you there.
Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna. Thank
Hare
you, Gurudev.
Bye.